morning, everyone. Today we are going to learn a very interesting topic called module in Python. What I want to teach basically is what is that import statement which you so many times see at the beginning of a Python program. So topic actually is import because import is all about importing modules. This import statement will import modules. But what do you mean by module, first of all? Very simple definition of module is any Python file. Any Python file. That means having extension dot py. Some file name dot py. Okay. Like test.py. It's a Python file. Any Python file is called a module. Is called a module. So if you are asked what is module, you say Python program is a module. So till now, whatever programs we wrote were actually modules. We were creating modules. But then why are we talking about this today? Just see, to understand how exactly modules work in Python. Okay, what we will do is, today we are not going to use Jupyter Notebook much. We have been writing our codes in Jupyter Notebook. But we won't be using Jupyter Notebook much today. There is a reason, The reason is that Jupyter Notebook is actually creating broken codes like this in various tabs. We want a single Python file which can be saved with .py extension on the hard disk so that it works like a module. Please try to understand this. I mean, I don't want a file with extension .ipynb. Just check. I don't want these extensions. IPYNB. I want that the file should be some name and extension.py. So I will not use Jupyter Notebook today much, but then I will use something called an editor given with Python. This comes in built with Python called Python idle. This editor I will use. So if you have Python installed on your machine, and if you are using Windows machine, you can just click on start button and then just type Python idle. After clicking start, you can just type Python idle in the search bar and you will see one of the options in the start menu, Python idle. Just click it and idle will start, where you can type your Python program. But I am using Mac machine. On the Mac machine, the procedure is quite different. But on Windows machine, just click on start and in the search bar, type Python idle. And you will see one option, Python idle. Click on that and idle will start. But here I have to click on terminal and new window because I am working on Mac machine. And on this window, I'll be prompted to enter something. So I will enter Python. Now, actually, I am starting Python by typing this. And you can see these three greater than symbols here is an indication that Python has begun. Like I can type some Python code here, like print hello. This is a Python code. Okay, and hit enter. Now you see this Python code will run. Print hello has printed the output hello. Okay. But this prompt, triple greater than cannot be used for typing big programs. This is okay for single line. If you want to run single line, it's okay. So I was saying that when you start this Python like this on Mac machine, this triple greater than appears and you can type simple commands over here, but not full program. Now to start Python idle, I will have to write import idlelib dot idle. But if you are working on Windows, I repeat, you don't have to go through this procedure. You just have to type in the search bar Python idle. When you click start button, Python idle will start. This is all for Mac machine. I will write import idlelib.idle and on hitting enter, you can see this is the idle which has started. Okay. And you can see the same triple prompt over here, same triple prompt. And you can type some command over here like print, okay, and simply hit enter. and that code will run. So again, we can run single line code over here in Python idle. But what if we want to type a bigger program? Then you can simply click on file. On Windows machine, file option will be seen right over here in idle window. This is Mac machine. I'm just clicking on file and new file. So see, this untitled window will be opened where I can type my file and run it also. There is an option called run given over here. You can check. Okay. So this is what we will be using. Like if I type a simple program, let me just zoom this so that everybody is able to see this. Suppose I write a simple code like this: define add x comma y colon and return x plus y. X plus y. This is a function, and this is the main script where I am saying z is equal to add 2 comma 3. Okay, and then print z. Print z. Now this is the code I have written. Okay. Now I try to run it. I'll just zoom out again. Just click on run and run the module. This module. See how it calls this as module. I said any Python program is called module. So even while running, it says run the module. Yes, I want to run this, but it needs that the file should be saved first. Okay. So I'll say okay, and I'm saving this file in a folder called Anish Shelar. Just see, you can save your file in appropriate folder on the Windows machine. I'm saving this file as test, and the extension is .py. Okay, don't forget to give extension test.py. So I'll save this. And it says test.py already exists. Do you want to replace it? Okay, I'll sacrifice that file. I'll replace it. All right, and the file has executed. You see, what happened is on this prompt we gave run, isn't it? Run option, and the output has been shown on the Python idle window. 5 is the output. Okay, so that's it. This is what we will be using, so that we can create files with extension .py. I mean, what I was saying for latecomers is that we are learning modules today, and any file which has extension .py is called module. You can see that this Python idle can be very comfortably used to create a new file, save it, and also run it. You can even run the file we saw. Now, I will go to Python idle later in the class, in today's lecture, but let's see an example straight away. Example speaks enough, isn't it? Suppose I have created a Python file called calculate.py. Check the extension. This is the file I have created, and you know this is a module now because it has extension .py. And what I have done in this program or in this file is that I have defined a function back to the same square, add x comma y colon return x plus y. But then in the same file, I have written one more function, subtract x comma y. And I have said return x minus y. Okay. Two functions have been defined in the same file, calculate.py. But you see, something is missing in this file. Yeah. What's missing in this file is the main script is missing. Like, I have written these two functions, but you all know from the earlier discussion that these functions cannot run on their own. No, functions will not run on their own. You will have to call them. Isn't it? You will have to place the call to add. You will have to place the call to subtract. Maybe if we would have written something like this, z is equal to check where is this line written. This is in the main, in the main script. It is not indented. And if I say z is equal to add 2 comma 3, let's say 2 comma 3, in that case, we are calling add function, add will run and return 5, and then we can print z. What I am claiming is I have not written any such code. I have not written this. I have only defined two functions in this file calculate.py. That means there is no sense in executing this calculate.py because functions won't execute on their own, and I have not called the functions. By writing main script, I have not called the functions. I have not written main script at all. Then why have you written this calculate.py, which contains only two functions, add and subtract? What we can do is we can write on program called test.py because it has extension .py. Okay. Let's say we have written another program or another .py file called test.py. Now have a look at this line. Import, calculate, import, calculate. Coming back to test.py. See this file. What is this doing? Test.py is importing calculate. What it means is whatever is there in this calculate.py, what is there by the way? Add function, subtract function. Whatever is there will be imported here. So it is as good as that test.py has two functions, add and subtract. Note the use of this calculate.py. Calculate.py has two functions and calculate.py promises that it will give service. It will give service to other programs. Whoever wants this add or subtract functions can easily import it by just writing the name of the module. That's it. So this line, import calculate will import everything from .py file, calculate.py file. Okay. Now have a look at this. Suppose I say z is equal to calculate dot add 2, 3 and then print z. Now this line here which I am underlining is a function call. This is a function call. Which function I am calling? Add. I am calling add function. But I am calling that add function which is defined in calculate. So the way in which you should call add is not simply writing z is equal to add, just as we had been doing. This will give an error. It will say add not found. Because add is defined inside calculate here, we will have to qualify it. We will have to say we are calling add, which belongs to calculate module, and I am passing 2, 3. Now you know that this call is called to this add. That means x will be 2 and y will be 3 because we have passed 2 and 3. And then function will return 5. So z printed will be 5. Or how about this? Tell me, y is equal to, let's say I want to subtract 20 and 10. Okay, 20 and 10. But then subtract belongs to calculate. So you will have to call subtract by saying calculate.subtract 20, 10. So 20 and 10 have been passed as parameters. So in this subtract, x will be 20 and y will be 10 and function will return 10, 20 minus 10, that is 10 and y printed will be 10. What is important for every student to see this is that test.py is not having add function defined anywhere in its code. Just check. Subtract, no, not defined here. Add and subtract are defined in another file. And we are importing that file and so conveniently using add and subtract. This is called reusability. Reuse the code written by others. Maybe this calculate.py has been written by some other programmer. And in my program, I want to do these operations. I can so comfortably use that code which has been written by other programmer and get my program done. No. If you are thinking about, oh, this is just copy paste, it's like copy paste. We are actually not writing any code ourselves, but we are reusing the code. So what's adventure in that? My dear students, if you want to do machine learning, Python programming, modern way of programming, then I will encourage all of you to reuse the code. Every programmer cannot write everything. Everyone can't write. So people have written excellent functions to do wide variety of jobs. You just have to search them properly, maybe on Google. For example, is there any function in Python which will convert colored image to black and white? Type on Google, instantly it will give, yes, there is a function. But then in which module is that function? It will tell the module also. Once you know that there is some module called CV2, in which there is a function defined, okay, then you in your program you will say import CV2 and CV2 dot that function you will call, which will convert the colored image to black and white. Okay, and then being experienced doing programming regularly in Python, one day you will also write such a module which will contain excellent function which people need. So you will define a module and then share it with others, and other programmers will then import your module and call the functions that you have defined. What an idea, you tell me. And you should encourage yourselves to reuse the code. By the way, I hope you have understood the meaning of import. I'm not going into technicalities of this. Like, if I go into the interpreter or compiler, what happens really? How both these functions are imported? What happens internally in machine? All that. Superficially, you see, it is like test.py, is now having authority on this add and subtract. It's like add and subtract are properties of this file, and it can anytime call add and subtract. Although this file is not having those definitions, it can call it simply by writing module name dot function name, module name dot function name. Okay. So let's see this in action, first of all, in Python idle, of course. And then I will halt. I will just halt for some time just to check whether you have got any questions. Okay. So what I will do is I will type a new file. Yeah, I am on Python idle. I have clicked file new. Give me some time. Okay. So what I will do is I'll define one function called add with x comma y. I wrote that last time. Anyway, I'm writing it again. Return x plus y. Spelling of, I misspelled return. Okay. Return x plus y. Now one more function I will define, subtract, which has x comma y again. And this returns x minus y. Okay. Simple. Check that these two functions we have defined. But what we are not writing is something like main script. We are not writing this, which will call add, which is there within this file. Within this file, add will be called and function will return phi in z, and then z will be printed. Nothing like that we are writing here. Print z. We are not going to write this code. What that means is that this file contains simply functions, and it does not have any calling code from where you're calling the functions. So now you can't run this. I mean, you can, but there will be no output because there is no main script. Okay. So let's save this. I'll click on file and I will save it. This is a module which I am creating, an example module.py. Okay. I'll save this. Check. Example module.py is the file, but it is senseless to run this. It contains only functions. Okay. Now what I do is I'll create a new file. You know why? One more file I'll create, and this file will start with import example module. Now you see this line qualifies this particular program to use add and subtract functions because you have imported the entire module. And please try to understand, what we are writing itself is a module. Hello, I told you every Python file itself is a module. So please try to understand, one module is importing the other module. This is a module. Please try to understand. Okay. Now I'll say z is equal to, let's say add 2 comma 3. Just check this. This is wrong. This call is wrong. What Python will try to do is it will try to find is add defined within this module. No. There is nothing called define add here. There is no function add defined. This is going to give an error. You will have to make it clear that add is a function which is defined in example module, then place a dot and then call it. Okay. Now it will run that add function here. This is the add function. It will run by passing 2 comma 3 and function will return 5. Okay, I hope you got this. And then we can print z, and let's try to say y is equal to example module dot subtract, and let's say 20 comma 10 and print y. Okay. So this becomes a program or a Python file which is using services of the other module. But don't forget, this itself is a module. Okay. So let's save this. Python file is using that module. Okay. Some name I have given. Okay. Now, which program should I execute, by the way? I said it is very silly to run this. There's nothing to run here. It is obvious that you will run this, which is importing the module and then calling the functions. So let's select this file and then click on run the module. You'll see the output printed here in Python idle. As you can see, 5 and 10 is the output. What is that 5 about? First output, it is about add, and second output is about subtract. You can see print z and print y. I mean, these two lines, print z, print y, has printed 5 because 2 plus 3 and y was 10, 20 minus 10, which proves that this file is using add and subtract defined in the another file. That's not end to it. We have long way to go. But you see that, one way to import. Suppose calculate .py exist, okay, which has two methods, method or function, both words are same, two methods, add and subtract. Okay, then the ways to import calculate.py are, see, the first method to import calculate.py is, we said import, sorry, our file name was not calculate.py. I'm so sorry. Let's be consistent with the name. I think it was example module. Okay, example module .py. There's nothing in the name unless you use correct name. Okay, example module.py. What are the ways? First one we saw was, you said import example module. What happened due to this? Whatever was there in this file, example module.py, we had add and we had subtract. I'm not writing entire function, but both these functions were imported. And now you have authority to call any of the functions, but then be careful, the call must be module name, like example module, and then dot the function name, and then of course the required parameters. Okay, this is one way, one method to import. Now the second method to import is, you can say import, I want to import example module, the same file, but you can write the keyword as over here and maybe ex. You might have seen this many times, like import numpy as np, like that. Many times, you will see one keyword as. Now what this means here, we are still importing our py file, example module. So both add and subtract are imported because we are importing the entire module. But now this module will be called as ex by us. We are just giving it some other name, a shorter name for our convenience. What convenience? You saw whenever we wanted to call a function, we had to write the name of the module. And name of the module was much bigger. And it will be difficult for us to every time, whenever we want to call a function, to write such a big name. Why don't we call example module in our world as ex? So now we can call the function as z is equal to ex.add 2, 3. Still, the same function which is add defined in example module will be called. But our life becomes easier now. So this is optional, but many programmers like this. Many programmers use this. So that when you say import numpy as np, you can write np dot something instead of numpy dot something. Isn't it so? Or import matplotlib dot pyplot as plt. When you say as plt, you can say plt dot something instead of matplotlib dot pyplot dot every time. This is many times called as alias. This name given is many times alias, called as alias. Alias is an English dictionary word which actually means another name given to someone. So the actual name was example module. We have given it another name, ex, and now we are calling functions by that name. So this is a preferred approach over this, but both are correct. Let's go back to Python idle and check. Is such a code working? Okay. Just see the code here. Import example module as ex, I will write. So now I don't have to write this name, example module, but I will write ex dot module, ex dot add, or I will write ex dot subtract. Okay. So I'll save this again, of course, with the same name, use module, and let's try to run it. It will again print 5 and 10. Of course, you know the output. You can see this is the latest output, which has printed 5 and 10. I hope you have understood the alternate way of importing a module. Now, just a word of caution. See, suppose I write example module dot here. Just check this. Actually, now I am calling example module as ex. But after calling example module as ex, I continue to use the word example module dot add. Here also, let's say I continue to use example module dot add or dot subtract. Let's see what will happen now. If I save this and run it, check that you will get an error. See the last line of the error. Just check the last line. It says example module is not defined. Just check the error. Be careful. If you are calling example module as ex, now you don't use the actual name. You said that example module will be called as ex in this program. Then you should call it as ex, not as example module. Just take care about this. Once decided that you are going to call this module with some alias, then continue to use that alias. Okay. You know, first way of importing the module, first method to import the module is simply write import and module name, like example module. Sorry for the handwriting. Just manage this. But the point is that now while calling the function, you will have to write the entire module name, example module dot function name. But just see that it works. Okay. The second method we saw was you can import the module, and while importing the module, you can give alias, some name, user defined name, so that now while calling the function, you have to use this alias now. You can't use the original name and then say ex.add 2, 3. This is another way. Now there is third method to use import. Now there is third method to import. You see, third method is for that. Again, the reference I will give. This is our example module.py, and you know this contains add and it contains subtract, two functions. Okay. Now what if, let's say, programmer wants to use only subtract function? I mean, see, this example module may have 10 functions. What happens when you import example module like this or like this? You know, all 10 functions get imported. Yeah, entire module gets imported. But many times programmer knows that out of all the functions, I want only one function. I'm not going to call any other function from example module, but I want only subtract function to be called. Then the alternate syntax that you use is, you can say from, okay, instead of import, now you say from, and then say the module name, example module. From this module, import. Now you write import, subtract. Check what we are doing. Python will go to this module. This is complete file, you know, .py file, and it will only import the define subtract function. So my program now, this program has authority to use only subtract function. But observe, when you import the entire module, you have authority to call add or subtract. Similarly, when you import module like this, you are importing entire module. So you have authority to call add or subtract. But here, you have made it clear that from example module, I am importing only subtract function. Okay. This is the way how you can select some function and import only that function from that module. Now, what if I say y is equal to subtract? Subtract 20, 10. You should immediately tell me that this is wrong, because your teacher told that while calling the function which belongs to module, you should place a dot, and before dot you should write the name of the module, which is example module. Here alias is not given, you watch. So the line should have been example module dot subtract 20, 10. You know, but the nice thing about this grammar, the last grammar which I am saying, oh, what happened? Give me some time. What I was saying is, nice thing about this grammar is that when you are making it clear that you are importing subtract function, only subtract function from this module, nice thing is you just call the function without any dot operator and without any module name, and Python will understand this because you have made it so clear that subtract belongs to example module. I am calling that function, and now you should not write, check my words, you should now not write example module dot subtract. You should not write dot, you should not give module name, simply call the function. Nice. So this subtract, which subtract will be called? Of course, the subtract which belongs to example module, as made clear over here. So this is another way of importing. Let's go to Python idle and check. Let's say in my earlier program, this one, let's say I want to use only subtract. I don't want to use add. Okay. I know I from this module, I am going to use only subtract. So what's the grammar? What we say is, from the module name, from example module, we will say import subtract. Now you see, you can't call add now. And while calling subtract, you don't have to give module name. You simply say y is equal to subtract 2010, and Python will understand subtract belongs to example module. So correct function will be called and y printed will be 10. Let's try this first. So I'll again save this and let's run it. On running, you will see there is an output printed here, which will be 10 because subtract 20 comma 10 is written. So let's run this. Rightly so, 10 is the output. Okay. Let's try to call add also over here. Add 2 comma 3. But naturally this is going to give an error. You are not having authority to call add now. You can only call subtract. Okay. So I'll save this and let's run it. You can see that 10 will be printed because up to subtract it runs very well, but then it says add not defined. You can't call add. Okay. Okay, what if I add one more line here? From, you will call me silly now. What is our teacher doing? But anyway, just watch it. From example module, import import add. Let's say. Now what am I doing? I am actually importing both the functions from that module, example module. Now even this line will run. But then you will say, sir, if you wanted to import both the functions, why don't you simply say import example module? Hello, please try to understand this example module in our case contains only 2 functions. But what if this example module has 10 functions and we want to import only 2 out of them? Then we will be writing this. That out of 10 functions, maybe that example module has multiply, divide, raise to, many functions. And we want to use only subtract and add, then we will write it like this. And you see how comfortably we can call add now. Let's try saving this. And let's run it. So now when I run, there will be 2 outputs. First one will be subtract, which will be 10. And second will be 5, which will be addition. Oh yes. Okay. There is an alternate method. You see, just check, I'm deleting this line. You will like this. Suppose from example module, you want to import subtract and add both. Then you can place a comma and then say add. So now it means from this module, example module, you are importing both these methods, both these functions, subtract and add. So you don't have to write from example module, import add, separate line. You can just write the list of functions that you are importing from a particular module and this will still run. That's why, in Python, you will often see something like from Keras, which is a machine learning library for deep learning. From Keras, import sequential, comma dense, comma activation. What you have to understand is Keras is one of the modules. That means keras.py. Like example module.py. It is one of the modules. And in that modules, there are many functions. But in this case, in our program, we are importing sequential function, then dense is a function and activation is a function. So now later in my code, later, I just have to say something like, I can just say z is equal to new sequential. Don't take this code seriously. What is all this? You might wonder. But then you see, I am calling sequential function. That's it. And this sequential function will be part of Keras module. But then what important is that I have imported 3 functions out of several 100 odd functions are there in Keras, but we have imported only 3 and we can so comfortably use this. And remember, when you import functions like this, you should not write the name of the module dot. You should simply call the function. That's it. Okay. So what I was telling, is this alternate syntax. How you can import a single function or list of functions just by putting a comma. I hope this is very, very clear. You understand this. Now there is a fourth grammar. This is not at all fancy, not at all fancy. You'll say, obviously, sir, this must be there. Like, what if I write from example module? So I am again selecting something, import, subtract. You know the meaning? Only subtract function will be imported. But then I say as a sub. Okay. You know, after as you have something called alias. But whose alias is this? This is the alias given to the function name. So actual function name subtract was in the example module. But now that subtract function is renamed by us as sub to make our life easier. So now I will write y is equal to sub 20, 10. Okay. The same subtract function will be called. And you know, whenever you import the function using from module name import function, then you simply call the function. You should not write dot and the module name. So simply use the alias now. But this was obvious, isn't it? This has to be there as a grammar. So what if I go back to the Python code in Python idle? Okay. And what if I'm just importing subtract. I'm not importing both. Okay. And I say as sub. So now I will be able to call the function with a shorter name, sub. This will run the same subtract function as I said. If I save this and if I run it, it is going to print 10, which is nothing but 20 minus 10. So these are the four grammars which you will see most of the times as the first line. First few lines will be import, whatever libraries you want to import. And next time I will be more happy if I see more import statements in your code, because more import statement means you are reusing the code written by someone else. That encouragement has to be given by your teacher while learning machine learning and Python. If somebody there is under an impression that I will write everything, then let me tell you, it's a very, very difficult road you are taking. And what's the sense in writing the code which has been already written by someone? It makes sense to write a code which will help someone which is not yet written, is the point. Okay. So I have a question in that case. See, did you observe in all these examples, we created .py file and two .py files were created. One was example.py, example module.py, and another was use module.py. And both these .py files were in the same folder, desktop. It was in the same folder. So it was very easy for Python to locate this example module and import it. Please try to understand what I am saying. What if the module that you design, the module that you are about to import, this module which you are about to import is not in the same folder, but it is in some other folder. Maybe if you are working on Windows, this example module is on E drive and your program which is importing this module is on C drive. Then that import statement will fail. It will say example module not found, it will say. It was so simple to import in this case because we had both the files in the same folder. But it never happens always like that, isn't it? You'll say, no, sir, why? We will create always these programs in the same folder. What's the problem? No, the problem is, have you ever thought that when you are writing from Keras import sequential. Now this line you are writing in your program, which might be there in some folder, like it might be in E drive Samir folder. Hello, this Keras, which is keras.py. This is the module, isn't it? This module is not in the same folder. This module will be somewhere in the Python folder where you have installed Python. Then how will this get imported? This should give an error in that. I hope you are understanding our problem. What if the module and the using module are located at different paths? How will you work with that? Okay. So I want all of you to try this seriously. Give it a try. What we will do is we will again write our example module .py. You know, this contains define add. I'm not writing entirely, and define subtract. This is our file. And let's say we are working on Windows machine, and let's say on our Windows machine this has been saved in E drive. There is a E drive on my system, let's say, and in E drive there is a folder called Samir. Okay. See, this path may vary on your system, but my point of telling is you save this somewhere you save and note down that path. Clearly the path will be shown on the address bar on the Windows system. This type of path will be shown, like it is shown here. You can find out this type. Of course, this is Mac, so right slashes are shown. On Windows, backslash will be shown. Okay. And then what you do is you type your program use module.py. Okay. Just check this. In this, you write import example module. Example module as EX. I am using the simplest of the grammars. So I am expecting both add and subtract to be imported because I am imported the entire module. And then I'll say Z is equal to EX.add 2, 3 and print Z. Print Z. And also Y is equal to EX.subtract 20, 10 and then print Y. Do you know this program is going to give error if this use module.py is stored in some other folder? Maybe this is stored in D drive. D drive has a folder called sample. This is a folder name. Now you see what we are importing. Example module is located in E drive Samir folder, and the file which is trying to get this is located in some other drive and other folder. So obviously this is going to flag an error saying example module not found straight away. And rightly so, that module is not found in that folder. Which folder? It is not found in this folder in which you are right now working. So how do you go about this? See, on Windows or in Mac or in Linux, whatever system you are working with, okay, there is always an environment variable. There is an environment variable called path. We often call it as system path. Okay. And this system path is actually list of paths. For example, on Windows machine, typically this will be C:\Windows semicolon. So one path ends here. Next one might be C:\C Windows. Next is C maybe Windows system semicolon and so on. Lot of paths like this you will see in the environment variable. This is true about Mac, Linux. There will be path. Now what happens whenever you are importing a module? Think about it. This is a module you are importing. What Python will do? First, Python will search, is this module present in this folder in which you are currently working? Python will not get this. Come on, because this example module is in E drive. So Python will not get this module in the current folder. Then what Python automatically does is it checks this path and it will ask, okay, let me check whether whatever you are importing, is it in Windows folder? Oh no, it is not there. Then let me check other path. Is it there in system folder? Oh no, it is not there. Like that, it will keep searching. however number of paths you have given, it will keep searching. And after searching all these paths, obviously it will not get the module. Yes, you know it will not get the module because module is in E drive, and that E drive is not added in this path. So what, you have to tell Python that this example module is not there in this folder, but it is in some other folder. And look, I have added that folder in the path. So you better go and check the path. You will get the module which I am importing. So how do you do that? See, in your program itself, you write 2 lines. First is import sys. Oh, good Lord, look at that. First application of import. So sys is a ready-made module in Python called system. Luckily, the name of the module itself is short, so you don't have to give as something. Sys is the name of the module. Okay? And then you write sys dot path dot insert. Okay? Let's give 1 comma, and then we will give quotation :/Samir. Quotation close, bracket close. See, actually, sys module is having a list called path. This path is a list in Python. Look at this square bracket. This is sys.path in Python. And this path is a list. It contains all the paths where Python should search. And now you are inserting one more folder in that path. And you are inserting it at first place. First place means, in the list, this is 0th place. So the new path will be inserted here, and all other paths will be shifted ahead. You can insert it at any place. 1 is not a magic number. Like you could have inserted at place 0. Okay, then it will be inserted here, the new path. Okay. So now this at first place, we have a path :/Samir. Nice. Now what will happen when you import this module? First, Python will search Samir folder. No, not there. This module is not present in the current folder. Then Python will say, okay, let me go and check system path. It is not in Windows. Okay, let me check the other path. Samir, yes. This folder, Samir, has this module, example module.py, and import will be successful. And I hope you understand why these 2 lines have been written first and then import has been written. Come on. If I write this import first and then import sys and then insert the path, what's the use? First, I will add this path and then I will import example module. I hope you're understanding. I want all of you to give this a try, seriously. You create a module in some other folder, you create use module in some other folder, and then type these lines. First of all, try running this program without typing these 2 lines, and you will get an error. Example module not found. Then you add these 2 lines, okay, and then try to run the code, it will run, which means we have updated the path. By the way, system path is a list. You can see the square bracket. It's a list of all the folders where Python is going to search the file. Okay. Let me go to our Python idle. Here we go. And what I will do just for fun, I will just import. I'll just import sys. Okay. And after subtracting, just for fun, I'm going to print sys.path. I'm not inserting anything. I'm just printing sys.path. I told you this is system path. And this path is a list of all the folders where Python searches a module. Okay. So let's see what will be the output. I am saving this again and I will run this code. You can see 10 was printed due to subtract. Nothing fancy about that. But you can see a big list over here. Desktop is searched, documents is searched, library, framework. This is the current path which will be searched by Python whenever you try to import some module. That shows that system path, really system.path contains all the folders that will be searched. Okay. But I am not creating the files in different folders. This is given. This is given as a homework to you. You try it. You try creating these two modules in different folders. Try to run this without typing these two lines first. You will get an error, and then type these two lines. You will see that example module was successfully imported. I hope you will do this. You can take a click of this, so that just click this on your cell phone, so that you will get some help from these two lines, or else maybe you will miss out what those two lines were. One long story I am telling you actually about modules. Okay, please excuse your teacher if teacher is not able to tell this at one go properly. Okay, many times it happens. Some topics are like that, where your teacher is confused, although teacher knows about it, but how to convey, how to tell what is happening is very difficult. This is use module. I'll just remove this sys.path. We don't need it anymore. And this import sys. Now I'll add some interesting code here. You just check. I'm saying z is equal to add 9, 10 and print z. And I'll say y is equal to subtract 90, 20 and then print y. Have a look. Before we talk anything about this, have a look at example module.py. Previously, this module was containing only functions. Nothing called calling code. This is now I have added the calling code also. So this is main script, which is actually calling this add and actually calling this subtract. Okay. So you'll say, so what, sir? Let's see what happens. I'll save this. Okay. And now do you understand we can run this code? Previously, there was no point in running this code because the calling code was not there. Now calling code is there. So we can run example module. Of course. But I won't run this. What we will do is, we are actually importing this module. Isn't it? We are actually importing this module. So I'll go to the first grammar, which we said, import example module as ex. Okay. Now I will comfortably call this ex.sub. Please try to understand, I'm not running the example module, but I am importing it. So now what will happen if I run this? Let's say I save this, and if I run this, what is the output you expect? The output you expect is 10, because we are running this program. We are running this use module.py program, where there is only one print in the entire program, and it is going to print 10. But just get ready to see the output. I am running the module. It should be subtract. I'm so sorry. I mean, our discussion has deviated unnecessarily due to this error. Okay, ex.subtract. Fine. Now, when I run this, what is the output you expect? Only one print is there. So 10 should be printed. But look at the output. Now I am running the module. Oh, look at this. 19, 70 and 10. This 10 I can understand. I was running this program, and in this I am subtracting 20 with 10. So 10 is the output. And only this output was expected, 10. What is all this 19 and 70? Hello. There was no such code in my program which prints 19 and 70. This 19 and 70 are the effect of this main code over here, which is there in example module.py. Wow. Yeah, addition of 9 and 10, 19, and subtraction of 90 and 20, 70. Please try to understand what happened over here. When you said import this module as ex, Python went into that module, and whatever was there in that module, it has imported it. What was there in that module? Add function. Okay. Subtract function. Okay. Then there was a statement z is equal to add 9, 10. Even that was imported, and that also executed. And then print z. So it printed 19. It's as if, all these lines were also imported. Not only these functions, these lines were imported, and these lines executed and gave the output. But this is bad. This is bad, because I didn't mean that. When I am using example module as a module, I just want to run the subtract. I don't want to run your main script, which you have already written in the example module. I hope you have seen how bad is this. One way is you can say, sir, remove this code. Let only add and subtract be here. Why are you adding this? Nice suggestion. But what if I want this? In the example module, I want the functions and I want main script also, which belongs to example module. Logically, I hope you're holding your breaths. I warned you earlier only. Sometimes, sometimes the discussion might unnecessarily be stressful. Okay. Or maybe it is stressful for me or you are enjoying it. What we simply do in such case, we write one if here. If underscore underscore name underscore underscore is equal to in quotation underscore underscore main underscore underscore quotation close. And if has a grammar of writing colon here. And now all these lines which I have written, all these lines will be indented because they are inside the if. So let me check. There is an option for indentation here. I think must be in edit. No. Format. Yeah, indent region. Okay. All these lines are now indented. Now you watch. The rule is so simple. Listen very carefully. If we run example module.py, that means select this and run this file. This file, if we run, then this code will run. But if we are importing this module in some other file, okay, listen again. If we are importing this module in some other file, then this code will not run. But only that code will run which we are calling, like call add, call subtract, then only that code will run. But this code will not run if this module is getting imported. Let's check. I'll save this. Okay. Now I am running this module itself, example module. See, so this code will run and it will print 19 and 110. Let's try. I'll run this. Yeah, 19 and 70. I'm so sorry. This was subtract. So 19 and 70. So this program runs and even main script runs, main script. Okay. But what if we are in use module where we are importing example module and we are just calling subtract? Okay. Now if I run this file where I am importing example module, notice that this code will not run. Previously entire code was running. But because I have now put a gate in the form of if, this code will not run. So if I now run this, you will see it will print only 10. See the output of this code, only 10, which proves that only my code was executed and not the code written inside this if. Number of times it happens, people write programs. Listen very carefully. People write programs. In the programs, they define very, very well-defined functions. Define. And then they write main script also. Because come on, that's their program. So program will contain main script. And later on, after many days, they realize that some function that we wrote in one of the programs is very, very interesting. And we want to just reuse this function in some other module. But the problem is because they have written main script, this main script also runs. We saw that. Then you say, if name is main, only then run this main script. In that case, when you run this file individually, then this code will run. But if you are importing this, then this code will not run, but only the code which you are called will run. So you will often see such if statements in the program. Don't get surprised. This is related to import statement. I hope I was able to tell you what this is. Or if you are not understood it, leave it aside right now as a bad dream. And when we come back later to the modules topic, modules topic is not going to leave us. Now every program virtually will contain import statement, and import means importing the module. And even we are going to create some interesting modules and then we will revisit this. But I'll be encouraged if you Google out this. What do you mean by underscore underscore name equal to underscore underscore main? If you Google out this, if you read the description written by many authors, if you see some YouTube videos made by some other teachers who were possibly better than me in conveying what is the meaning of this, search for a few things and give me your feedback. So that's it for the day. I said this is a shorter session. We are not continuing till 12:50. When we come next time, we will be learning about object-oriented programming. So see you then. Till next Saturday. Bye everyone.